16,800 seats. That's how many people can fit inside Lakewood Church.
Every Sunday, 16,800 seats fill the massive sanctuary of Lakewood Church in Houston, Texas. By 2017, it had become the largest single-campus church in America, drawing 45,000 weekly attendees across 6 services and reaching 7 million viewers in more than 100 countries. The church's broadcast production rivals network television, arena-sized screens, concert-quality sound, and a team of hundreds making every sermon feel like a live event. The budget tells another story. In that same year, Lakewood processed $90 million in donations, yet only a fraction, just 1.3%, went to mission and outreach. The rest supported the church's operations, televised sermons, and traveling events. It is a spectacle of faith, but one that raises an unavoidable question. Where does all the money really go? Joel Osteen inherited this empire from his father, John Osteen, and transformed it into a global brand. His books have sold millions. His social media reaches 28 million followers. And his personal life mirrors the prosperity message preached from the pulpit. A $10.5 million mansion in Houston's River Oaks neighborhood, 3 elevators, and a guest house with its own pool. But behind the cameras, behind the sermons, the first cracks in the empire were quietly forming. A storm was coming, literally and figuratively. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this. Lakewood Church wasn't built overnight. Its story begins in 1959 when John Osteen, a former feed store owner, founded a small congregation in Houston. Over 4 decades, he transformed it into a growing church, blending traditional preaching with television broadcasts. When John passed away in 1999, his son, Joel Osteen, stepped into the pulpit. Joel hadn't attended seminary, but he had mastered the camera. For 17 years, he had produced his father's broadcasts, learning how to turn sermons into highly polished media events. Under his leadership, Lakewood became more than a church. It became a global brand. His prosperity gospel promised that faith and donations would lead to blessings. Millions bought into the message. Millions tuned in. His personal life reflected the narrative. In 2010, he purchased a 17,000 square foot mansion in Houston's exclusive River Oaks neighborhood, complete with 3 elevators, 6 bedrooms, and a guest house with its own pool. Critics questioned whether the lavish lifestyle matched the humble message of faith. Financially, the church's structure was formidable. 368 staff members, multiple weekly services, traveling Night of Hope events, and international broadcasts, all funded by donations. But even as the empire expanded, the first questions about transparency quietly surfaced. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this. By 2017, Lakewood Church was a machine of revenue and spectacle. The $90 million annual budget was staggering. Over $31 million went toward weekly services and programs, $25 million to television broadcasts, and $6.7 million to Night of Hope stadium events. Administrative costs and fundraising consumed another $23 million, leaving just $1.2 million, 1.3%, for charitable outreach. For comparison, most major nonprofits direct 80 to 90% of donations toward their core programs. Most of the funding came directly from churchgoers, was via tithes and collection plates and online donations. The sheer scale of operations required a staff of 368 people, hundreds of volunteers, and sophisticated production equipment to maintain the broadcast empire. Joel Osteen claimed he hadn't drawn a salary from the church since 2004, relying instead on book royalties, which had earned him millions. Yet numbers only tell part of the story. For the thousands giving monthly, there was no clear way to verify where their money ended up. And then Hurricane Harvey struck Houston, testing not only the church's resources, but also the credibility of its message. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this. On August 25, 2017, Hurricane Harvey made landfall in Houston, unleashing catastrophic flooding. Tens of thousands of residents were displaced, seeking shelter, food, and safety. Across the city, local businesses and organizations scrambled to respond. Jim Mattress Mackingvale opened his furniture stores to evacuees and sent trucks to rescue stranded families. a hands-on response that made national headlines. Meanwhile, Lakewood Church, with 16,800 seats and extensive facilities, remained closed. Social media users were baffled. Videos surfaced showing dry entrances and accessible parking lots, yet the doors stayed shut. A Facebook post from the church claimed flooding made the building inaccessible. It's directing evacuees elsewhere, but the optics were disastrous. The hashtag Joel Osteen trended across Twitter, with users questioning whether a church built for people in need was living up to its mission. By Tuesday, August 29th, Osteen posted on Twitter that Lakewood was now open and receiving evacuees. Roughly 400 people were eventually housed in the church, with volunteers sorting donations and supplies. But the damage to perception had already been done. So critics asked, if a $90 million church can't lead in a crisis, what is the money really supporting? In 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic forced churches nationwide to suspend in-person services. Lakewood Church, with its 368 employees and massive operations, faced an unprecedented challenge. The church applied for a $4.4 million Paycheck Protection Program, PPP loan, one of the largest in the Houston area, to cover payroll and keep staff employed. Eddie Joel and Victoria Osteen did not receive salaries from these funds. The money strictly supported employees and operations. Yet the optics were controversial. Critics noted that a church with a $90 million annual budget was taking federal relief while ordinary Americans were limited to $600 stimulus checks. Public debate flared. Was this responsible stewardship or a questionable financial move? Lakewood eventually repaid the loan in full, but the controversy added fuel to a growing fire. Social media users questioned why the church had such a large reserve and why transparency about these decisions remained limited. For many, it reinforced the perception that the institution operated more like a media empire than a charitable organization. Even as Lakewood's employees were paid and operations continued, the question lingered. If not misused, why did it feel so wrong to so many? In 2014, Lakewood Church reported a theft. Approximately $600,000 in cash and checks had disappeared from a church safe. The case went cold, leaving investigators and the public puzzled. For 7 years, the money was considered lost. Then in November 2021, a plumber named Justin Colley was repairing a loose toilet when he made an astonishing discovery. Behind tiles and insulation, roughly 500 envelopes containing cash and checks fell out of the wall. Police confirmed that the recovered money matched the 2014 theft. Crime Stoppers even awarded Colley $20,000 for his honesty. The questions only deepened. Who hid the money there? Why wasn't it recovered sooner? And how had the church already filed and been paid on an insurance claim for the stolen funds? The case remains unsolved, and the mystery only added to public scrutiny of the church's finances. For those giving tithes, the revelation underscored a troubling reality. Even when money is accounted for, transparency is limited, and accountability is murky. Behind the grandeur of televised sermons and massive events, secrets had quietly accumulated in plain sight. Critics of Lakewood Church have long pointed out that the prosperity gospel focuses more on personal gain than spiritual guidance. Reformed theologian Michael Horton called the message a religion about us, not about God, arguing that it prioritizes material success over true ministry. Financial experts and journalists note a similar pattern. Of the $90 million flowing through Lakewood's budget, over 70% goes towards services, broadcasts, and traveling events, leaving just 1.3% for charitable outreach. Scholars argue this mirrors a broader trend in megachurches, where personality-driven leadership often overshadows transparency and accountability. Similar scandals have unfolded elsewhere. Mars Hill Church in Seattle collapsed after financial and leadership controversies. Hillsong Church in Australia faced allegations leading to the resignation of Brian Houston. Willow Creek Community Church confronted misconduct and financial opacity under Bill Hybels. In each case, the institution's brand became inseparable from its leader, allowing gaps in accountability to persist unnoticed. Lakewood's situation isn't just about one church or one pastor. It highlights systemic risks inherent in megachurches. Spectacle, revenue, and charisma can outgrow mission and ethics. Lakewood Church is more than one building on Southwest Houston's highway. It's a symbol of a larger system. Across the United States, churches enjoy tax-exempt status and minimal financial disclosure requirements, leaving donors in the dark about how their tithes are spent. Families giving hundreds of dollars each month have no reliable way to trace where the money goes, relying instead on faith and trust. Even as Joel and Victoria Osteen continue their televised sermons, Night of Hope events, Mass and global outreach, the gap between message and reality is stark. The $90 million flowing through Lakewood's accounts primarily funds operations, broadcasts, and spectacle, not charitable programs. And yet millions continue to follow, give, and believe. This isn't just about a single megachurch. It's a window into a system where faith, personality, and revenue intersect, sometimes in ways that obscure accountability. It raises a haunting question for anyone who gives. When you donate, do you truly know where your money goes? And if you don't, does it matter? The 16,800 seats still stand. The broadcasts still air. The books still sell. But somewhere in Houston or across the world, families are asking themselves, what exactly are we building with our faith and our dollars?